Picture the boardroom on the 14th floor, the one with the good coffee machine that only VPs are allowed to touch. On the morning, a vendor named Chip stepped off the elevator, clutching his laptop like it held the Ark of the Covenant itself. He had one slide. Just one. And he believed with the pure, untested faith of a man who had never once been asked a follow-up question, that it was going to change everything. The slide itself was a thing of beauty, glossy, backlit, practically glowing with confidence. It read, "Zero risk failover solution, fully automated, 100% uptime guaranteed," set against a stock photo of a server room bathed in moody blue light. And tucked in the corner, for reasons no one could ever quite explain, sat a small owl icon. Because apparently owls signal wisdom, even when nobody has actually asked the owl anything. Williker Derbest, SVP and self-appointed subject matter expert on everything, gasped audibly and reached for his signature pen before anyone had said a single word about budget, risk, or reality. "This is synergistic," he whispered, eyes shining, forward-leaning. "Have you considered the emotional landscape of a failover event? This slide speaks to it." Nobody in the room was entirely sure what a slide speaking to an emotional landscape would even sound like, but Williker seemed to be listening very intently anyway. Across the table, Nick Cutter, VP of Server Systems, leaned back with the serene expression of a man doing quiet math, specifically calculating exactly how much credit he could claim if this thing somehow worked, and exactly how fast he could sprint away from it if it didn't. "Love the vision," he said smoothly, the way you'd compliment a toddler's finger painting. "Very visionary." It was the kind of praise that committed to absolutely nothing. And then across the table, Sid Vino set down his espresso, adjusted his cufflinks, and raised one eyebrow. And the room temperature dropped 4 degrees in an instant. "Chip," he said in the calm, careful tone of a man defusing a bomb built by an intern, "where are the test results?" Chip blinked and pointed to a small check mark on the slide labeled "Tested." Sid was unmoved. "I see a check mark," he said. "I do not see a test. Walk me through your last full failover exercise. Production scale, real data, real chaos." Chip's smile did the thing smiles do right before they become a scream. "We ran it in a sandbox environment," he admitted, "with, synthetic data. On a Tuesday, it went great." From the corner of the room, without even looking up from his laptop, Luka Drakov offered the quiet, devastating truth everyone else was too polite to say out loud. "Synthetic data doesn't panic," he murmured. "Synthetic data doesn't have angry customers calling in. The data does not care about your feelings or your PowerPoint." Wildebeest waved a meaty hand, visibly annoyed at being interrupted mid-genuflection. "Sid, must we drown a beautiful vision in details?" He sighed. "This is a leadership decision, a big-picture play." Sid didn't even blink. "Big pictures," he replied, "are made of small pixels. And right now, every pixel in this picture is a guess." It was the kind of sentence that would haunt Wildebeest for the rest of the meeting, whether he admitted it or not. Demetrius Hedgie, arms folded, hadn't said a word yet, which everyone at the bank knew was the scariest possible sign. Finally, calm as a lake before a hurricane, he spoke. "Chip, when this magical zero-risk system fails over, hypothetically, where does the data land? What's the recovery time? What's the recovery point?" Chip's eye twitched. "We haven't fully documented that particular journey," he admitted. Demetrius nodded slowly, as if confirming something he already suspected. "So it's zero risk," he said, "except for the actual risk part. Financial institution holds world's largest data recovery scavenger hunt." Demetrius added, deadpan as ever. "Spoiler, no one wins." That's when Mark Manchu Hamansi threw both arms out like he was hailing a cab in Manhattan traffic. "Chip, buddy, I build apps that remind my mother to take her blood pressure pills, and even that app has been tested more than this billion-dollar failover system. If I had $1 for every app that makes my mom's life easier, I'd be as rich as a tech CEO on IPO day. And this thing hasn't earned a nickel of trust yet. Sid tapped the glossy slide with one finger, right on the smug little owl. Show me a stress test under real production load, real concurrent failures, real human error, the ugly stuff, and we'll talk, he said. Until then, this slide is a beautifully lit hallucination. Chip's laptop let out an ominous whir, as if even the machine wanted no part of this conversation, and he mumbled something about circling back before he scooped up his bag, walked, then jogged, then flat out sprinted for the elevator, leaving his lanyard swinging on the chair like a tiny abandoned flag of surrender. Nick Cutter cleared his throat and noted, for the record, that he'd never fully endorsed this. Wildebeest sighed the sigh of a man denied his synergy and shuffled out muttering about meaningless challenges. And Sid Vino simply closed the folder, sipped the last of his espresso, and said what every good risk manager eventually learns to say out loud. One slide never survives contact with reality, but a good question always does.